Kalen DeBoer, current head coach of Washington, wields a lot of power right now. He just took, along with Michael Penix, a very special offense and a really great team, his team to a national championship game against Michigan. Obviously, it didn't work out, but still, Washington was on an undefeated season up until then. It is the best season we've seen from a Washington team since their last title, and he is the most powerful coach in Seattle right now. He has not signed an extension, though, Bump, and we've got a wrench thrown into that because yesterday it was announced that Nick Saban was stepping down after 17 years and 6 national titles from Alabama. And Alabama is going to be looking for someone, and it's no chump change. They want to find someone who can really step into the very large shadow that will be cast by Nick Saban's absence. Is that person going to be Kalen DeBoer? Take a listen to what Joel Klatt had to say. He was on with Colin Cowherd just earlier today.
If it gets to Kalen DeBoer, that's your next coach at Alabama. Now, he signed an extension last November. He's got a $12 million buyout, but again, I don't think the finances are going to be an issue. There's been contract talks again this year, but nothing's signed, which is interesting. He also went with Jimmy Sexton as an agent, which, as you know, if you follow college football at all, Jimmy Sexton is agent extraordinaire across the country, but more specifically in the SEC. Also Saban's agent. Just saying.
What do you think happens if Kalen DeBoer's offered that Bama gig?
I think he goes out to dinner with wifey, maybe a send, something real high class out here.
Maybe El Gaucho.
El Gaucho, maybe.
The Met.
There's several places you can go to.
Babe.
And they talk about things. They say, like, do we want to move our family again? It's been a couple years. Our daughter plays for UW softball. Wifey goes, don't worry, Bama has a great softball team. SEC softball is really good, babe. Don't worry about
Alabama does actually have a great softball team.
I didn't just say that to say it,
Yeah,
Curtis.
they're like
I believe
top
it.
1 or 2 in the country a lot of years.
You go, look, don't worry about that. We make a move. What do you want to do? It's all about, at this point, it's about Kalen DeBoer's legacy and how he sees it. Because you've done almost everything you can do at UW. You won a Pac-12 championship, the last one. You get into the national championship. You don't win it, but you've almost reached the pinnacle. The pinnacle was right there. You just missed it. Now it's about your legacy. And there are some schools that enhance your legacy, and if you win there, you will live forever. And Alabama is one of those schools. Now you talk about the connections with the agents and all that stuff, and something tells me the Bama boosters will roll out the red carpet. Rumor was it that Nick Saban lived on a private lake over there in Bama. He will be the man at one of the most notable universities when it comes to football in the country. I think he thinks long and hard about it, and I think that he should, because the resources you'll get over there as far as just supporting the football team is a bit different than it is up here.
Now, why is Kalen DeBoer name being thrown around? It's not just because of what he did this year. Take a listen to something else Klatt had to say.
Jimmy Sexton is going to control this search, every bit of it, because he controls every chess piece on the board. He represents Steve Sarkisian. He represents Dan Lanning. He represents Kalen DeBoer. He represents Mike Norvell at Florida State, Dabo Swinney at Clemson, James Franklin at Penn State. So he will try to slow play this as long as Alabama will allow him, so that he can get every one of his clients the raise that they feel like they deserve. So he's going to try to play it slow. Alabama's going to try to go quickly. In my estimation, the most logical candidate in terms of the expediency of the way that they want to operate is Kalen DeBoer. I'm actually going to be pretty surprised if Kalen DeBoer is not the next coach at Alabama.
What did Joel Klatt just give us there? Bump, essentially a list of the candidates for the Alabama job. That's essentially what he just gave us. Among them, Sarkisian, Dan Lanning, Kalen DeBoer, Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell with Florida State, obviously, they just got dominated by Georgia. And you know what? You missed a lot of players. Great candidate, great coach, loved by his players. Sarkisian, also doing great things with Texas, a history there at Alabama. Lanning and DeBoer are two of the biggest names, the two most successful coaches. One of those, Lanning, just said he's staying with Oregon. That leaves DeBoer.
Yeah. And the thing that DeBoer brings to Bama, too, is this style of play that is extremely attractive to athletes across the country. And DeBoer going to Bama Players will be knocking on his door to get into Bama. He's going to get 5-star recruits. He's going to get those 4-star recruits. Man, him walking into a 5-star recruit's living room, sitting down on the couch with that Bama logo on his chest is different than him sitting down with that UW logo. It's just different, man. It's all about it's all about what he wants, though.
Yeah.
Right? Did the Northwest do enough as far as the culture, the people, all the things that encompasses that to say this is where I want to raise my family for the next 4 to 6 years? Or do you want to go down to Bama and get way more bang for your buck, own about 10 to 15 acres on the low, be the man across the country, but you got to follow the greatest coach in American sports history, at least one of them. That's gonna weigh on his decision making for sure.
I know that there are some Huskies fans going, but you just went to a national title, and who cares about Alabama? Kalen DeBoer and every potential head coach hire there cares about Bama.
Yeah.
More booster money,
Mm-hmm.
bigger platform, more 5-star recruits, legacy, power. That UW cannot offer that in any of those levels to the same degree. You can't. I'm saying that as a UW alum. We cannot. So any head coach that wants to stay at Washington over an opportunity at Bama is doing so knowing that an opportunity at Bama is, quite frankly, a better opportunity.